My name is Madison. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make Cambodian Hot Pot, which is also known as Yao Han, or when other people have a hard time explaining it, they just refer to it as Asian fondue. So today I'm going to show you my way of doing it. There's many people who make it and have all sorts of different ways of making it, but I'm going to show you my way, just the basics, so hope you enjoy. Okay, so the first ingredient that you're going to need is an Asian barbecue sauce. When you pick it up and you think you don't have the right one, you will. It doesn't sound like your typical barbecue sauce. It's thick on the inside, but it is really watery sounding. So if you grab this one, as long as you get the silver tin with the red Asian writing, you got the right one. Second one that is important is the Suki Yaki. This brand you should probably get. It's the only one I've ever seen. And it's best for the hot pot, so you want Suki Yaki. The other one would be fish sauce. You can use whatever brand you prefer. Another one is coconut milk. You're going to need coconut milk. I prefer, it doesn't matter what brand, but don't get the one that says for cooking, because that one's a little more thinner, and just the regular coconut milk is thicker, which you want. Then this is also preference. Doesn't matter if you use this or not, but if you have coconut soda, if it gets a little too spicy, this makes it a little sweeter. It still gives it the flavor, but this adds a little sweetness to it, so if you like sweet, this is good for it. And then for the noodles, again, it doesn't matter which kind you use. Again, it's a preference of what kind of rice noodles you want, so use this one or this one. I wouldn't know the name, I can't read the name, but you can use whatever you want. And then most importantly, you need your skillet. Doesn't matter what size. If you have a big family, you might want to get a bigger one, but other than that, this one's from like Walmart for like 30 or 40 bucks, so you can get that. Okay, so right here is all the stuff that I had to put inside the hot pot. So you can use steak, beef, whatever kind of beef you want to use. Just chop it up into small pieces. Again, your preference, whatever kind of meat you want to use, but I generally use beef. I have tripe. Again, you want to cut that up small pieces. Then we have squid. Got this from the frozen section, so it's already good to go. You just basically let it unthaw, throw it in there, good to go. Then we have mushrooms. Again, cut that up. Shrimp. And then spinach, lots of spinach. My family's a big fan of spinach, so get a big bundle of that. And then bok choy. So these are just the main stuff that I use usually when I make hot pot. Again, it's all your preference. You can throw whatever you want in there, but this is the general stuff that I always use. Okay, so to make the hot pot broth, you want to start off with a big bowl of boiling hot water. The bowl can be pretty big, but you only want to put the water about halfway filled up. You don't want to fill it up to the very top, so just about halfway. Then when the water starts to boil, you want to take 2 cans of coconut milk, or if you notice afterwards that you put maybe too much water in, you can add another can of coconut milk or however much, but for now we're just going to do 2, assuming that the water is correct. Be careful, because I always burn myself every time I do this. Okay, so then after both cans of coconut milk are put in, then you want to go ahead and put the barbecue sauce in. So like I said earlier, it is really watery, but then you'll notice that there's a big old clump of the barbecue actually in there. So at that point, you probably want to get some sort of spoon to take it out with so it doesn't fall in there and burn you. So again, that's how it ends up looking on the inside. Okay, so after the barbecue sauce and the coconut milk has been put in there, it looks like this. So you want to go ahead and stir it up a bit, and it's going to continue to basically it looks like a bunch of brown oil mixed in there. And then after it's mixed in and you see that the barbecue chunks are out of there, then you can go ahead and mix the other ingredients. I use this spoon for measuring because it generally gives me the right measurements I need instead of using measuring cups and all that. This works the best. So next thing I'm going to put in is one of these spoonfuls of sugar. So again, I just basically fill this spoon to the top with what I need. Put it all in there. Use a thing of sugar. And then next, again, this one is usually by taste. Usually I do about 2 or so of the fish sauce. So once you get 2 spoons full, I would say taste it, see if you like it. Again, if it's a little too sweet, or a little too soury or fish tasting, you can put more sugar in that. That takes away the flavor. Or anything else, you can use more sugar, depending on however either of it tastes. Okay, so the next thing we're going to use is the Suki Yaki. I think right now the Suki Yaki is about to here. And again, this is for taste preference. The more you put in, the spicier it tends to taste. But I'm pretty much going to put in can't get this open. Going to put in almost the full bottle of this. Because generally you want to use it if it is full, then you want to go about to here. And since we're probably at this line, I'm just going to put it all in. Okay, so we'll be putting the Suki Yaki in, like I said, basically using the whole bottle. At this point, I mean, you're going to do a lot of your own taste testing to see if it's how you prefer it. Again, if you don't like it, we're going to be using that coconut soda that I showed you earlier. So if it is too spicy and you're afraid you can't get the spice taste away, without using more sugar and fish sauce, with using more fish sauce and sugar, then you can always use the coconut soda, and that makes the spicier taste go away. Okay, and so for the last part of making the broth, this is optional. A lot of people like it and a lot of people don't. So this is quail eggs. It doesn't really change the flavor of what the actual hot pot tastes like. It just is good. It's another ingredient that's added in, basically like the meat or the shrimp, but I tend to put this in before instead of putting it in with the other ingredients. So again, just put it all in there. Stir it around, and then when you transfer it into the skillet, then you'll have the quail eggs in there. So after you've let your hot pot cook in the actual pot, that's when you can go ahead and move it into the skillet. So you want to have somebody strong do it, that's why I'm not doing it. And generally there's a lot in the pot, so you don't have to fill it all the way up. And there's those quail eggs that we had earlier. If they don't come out, of course, just use a spoon to take them out. Okay, so at this point is really the last step of making it. Once you have a boiling hot pot of water, you want to go ahead and just stick the noodles in. And you can stick the whole bag in at once. Once it starts cooking more, that'll all go down, so it'll all eventually fit inside there and cook. These don't take too long, 5 minutes at most, and then you can take them out and the noodles are good to go. And so here we're on the last step. So this is where you want to go ahead and put the coconut soda in. I don't really use a whole can, maybe just half. And at this point is when you're going to go ahead and start putting the stuff in, and when it starts cooking. So again, you just put it all in there. A little of everything. Let it cook. And then after that, you'll go ahead and take it out and put all the stuff that you've put in here on top of your noodles, and use a little of the broth with it. and you have yourself a bowl of hot pot.